Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Board of Let me start over. Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday, July 2nd. Welcome to the Ridgeville City Schools Board of Education meeting. It is 4:30 p.m. Call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Ms. Yancey? Ms. McCarthy?
Here.
Ms. Saxon?
Here.
Mr. Muir? Mr. Bond? Here.
Okay. Takes us to Superintendent Treasurer's report.
We actually have a change in the finalization.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay.
We have 2 items to add under finance. Both of these items are for first reading this evening on page 7. We have added the establishment for Board of Education Service Fund. The second item is that the board will appoint, and we have a motion to vote on 2 members who will join the audit committee meeting. And both of these items, as I said, are for first reading and will be seeking formal approval on the 16th of July.
So, I'm sorry. Page 7. Okay. An audit committee, is that what you said? And the,
Establishment of board service fund.
okay. Anything else for finalization of agenda? Thank you. Minutes, Superintendent Treasurer's report.
Absolutely. Before we begin the superintendent's report, I do just want to express the deep sadness we have for the loss today of Orion Zarafos, who was going into 9th grade at North Ridgeville High School. He has 2 siblings that are also at the high school. We learned a little bit more that he did die this morning, and our thoughts and prayers are with his family. Let's make sure that was noted.
Thank you.
We have 2 other items under the report, both of which Mr. Pritt would like to share with you. The first is our math adoption, and then just has a few words around student handbooks, given our new change in policies, what needs to occur in those handbooks so that we can have students and parents have those in front of their numbers. Mr. Pritt.
Thank you. So as we've talked about a couple of times, this is the year that MAP was up for review and adoption. So we spent the early part of the year making sure that our maps were up to date with the new standards. So our group rolled out new language arts and math standards for implementation. They're shortly following about science and social studies. One month is a little more, as we get further in the future. So we always start by mapping out, because what we don't want to have happen is have our textbook become our curriculum, where we're just starting to be getting into what we do. So we map out our curriculum, we put in a logical orderly sequence, and then we start looking at materials that will help us support the implementation of those standards. So we have done that through a committee approach. So we spend the good part of the year mapping out. Around February or March, we got samples in from several of the major publishers. Textbooks are a little different nowadays, and that one, a lot of them are online, but 2, the big publishers have bought up all the little publishers. So now there's about 3 real big companies, and then kind of produce something that's out there. So we did pull in those samples, we got those in a future workgroup, we had them look at them, and then we did some formal presentations with them in late April and early May. So since that time, we've gathered the feedback, we've kind of crunched some numbers and looked at things, and have a recommendation to talk about. So just a little bit of background, in case you're curious, we do this through a rubric process. So if you're curious as to what that document looks like, we provide one of these to anybody who's doing evaluating and ask for their feedback and input. And it addresses items such as, is it in fact on standards? You will be surprised when you look through textbooks themselves. You may have content that is in a different grade level. You may have content that is above grade level, below grade level. So we start with that as kind of our guideline. So when we got to the point of doing our presentations, we had at our elementary and our middle school levels 2 primary companies that we looked at. One was McGraw-Hill, who makes My Math currently. My Math is what we are currently using grades 2 through 5 in the district. And then 6 through 8 has been using a Glencoe product. Glencoe is the middle school program for McGraw-Hill. So it is the same company under 2 different names. When I said people keep buying people up, that's what's happening. The other program that we looked at is Into Math, which is a Houghton Mifflin program. So those were the 2 that we had our presentations on. We examined a third presentation as well, Bridges, but when we had conversation about it with all the other initiatives that we have going on with Daily 5 and things like that, it just didn't make sense to put one more new initiative on top because it really is a different kind of program. So we had our presentations in. As part of those presentations, we go and we look at independent reviews of our books as well. So I mentioned the last time we had talked about this, a website called EdReports. EdReports is kind of the consumer reports of educational texts. So I just gave you a cover sheet and we can show you what the report itself looks like. This is for the Houghton Mifflin program, Into Math. And this is done by a group of teachers who kind of break out the texts themselves into different categories. So you can see in grades 3 through 8, this is what's on this particular sheet. They have found the text to be completely aligned as far as focus and coherence, meaning they are addressing the standards themselves at the grade level where the standards are supposed to be addressed. You get into mathematical practices and rigor, and that has been one of the things that we talked a lot about with our math people, is making sure that level of rigor is there, same with our language arts folks. The new standards really have a completely different level of rigor than what we're used to in the past. And then the third piece of it is the usability. Is it student friendly? Can you see what it looks like on pages? Is it easy to use? And then EdReports themselves works through and literally gives you point by point, indicator by indicator, where these particular texts themselves score. So that's a great tool when we're looking because it's an independent voice that tells you. It's great to have a salesman come in, but we all know every salesman can make every product great. So the recommendation coming out of the group was to look to move over to the Houghton Mifflin Into Math for grades K through 5. And then to continue on with the McGraw-Hill program, which for grades 6, 7, 8 is now called Ridgeville, so they have updated their program. The fun part is, or the fun group right now is 5th grade, because 5th grade is in between programs. So McGraw-Hill has their 6, 7, and 8 program done. It's brand new, Ridgeville. Into Math is a brand new program altogether. Our hope was, when we initially talked to McGraw-Hill, that we would be able to have 5, 6, 7, 8 on the same program, so that we've got an elementary program rolling into a middle program. What they initially told us was it would be one more year before that 5th grade program was ready. When it came down to presentation time, they said it's going to be 2 more years before it's ready. So we have rolled, our recommendation is rolling 5th grade in with that elementary piece for now, and then reevaluating 2 years from now when that piece comes up. When we rated out things on our rubric, at the elementary level, the McGraw-Hill program rated out at 1.98 out of 3 points possible. The Into Math at Houghton Mifflin was a 2.81. So it was a significant difference between those 2 programs, and it was the overall recommendation from everybody on the committee. So that's kind of the recommendation that we're going to be moving forward with. So.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
David, what, rolling the 5th grade math into the elementary until they get theirs, how do we make sure that those kids stay, if the rigor and everything has changed, how do we make sure those kids are ready for the 6th, 7th, 8th grade math?
Yeah, and what I'm going to say to that is the 5th grade program is a brand new program, so it is built to meet these standards, which should be more rigorous. But I think the other important thing to keep in mind is kind of what I started with, is this should not be a standard on itself. There are going to be times where the teacher looks at this chapter or unit and says, this is not what's best, I need to be using this instead. And that is part of the mapping process and those discussions that we're having. So, yeah. That's
professional development.
Absolutely. So built into all of these programs when you purchase, obviously, is the professional development piece. So what we have lined up with the Hope, which is the new program, is 3 full days of professional development that we can schedule at our convenience for our teachers. The idea would be to do one of those either late this summer or just as school is getting started, and then following up later in the year, whether it's our PD day in October or our day in January a couple of times. So we've got 3 full days of PD that's being offered to us just as part of the package. With the McGraw-Hill, the program, it's actually 2 days, but that program, again, is the new version of what they're already using. So probably a little less time is what would be necessary there. But that's already priced in. The other thing is our reps for both of those companies are local, and they are the types that, if we need additional time, even with our lapse adoption, they would come out and provide us PDs on those days. Other questions?
How many instructors participated in reviewing?
So, great question.
You had a team?
Yes, we had a team. So every grade level had 2 people on the team, but when we did our presentations, we actually did them after school so that anybody who wanted to attend could attend.
Okay.
So it was immediately after the school day ended.
Okay.
So in all, you're probably, and I can get you the exact number, I believe the number was 26 came and provided input across those grade levels. So most, I don't believe any grade level had fewer than 2 representatives at those meetings. Any other questions? I've got a sample of the Into that I will show around just to give you an idea when we talk about the level of rigor. Raul and John have 14 books together. How many books did each boy have? How do you show the problem and possible answer? How do you grade an equation to prove your answer is correct? And how do you use your words to explain your answer? First grade math. So it is very different than what we are used to, being our first grade math. So, other questions I can help you with? Great.
Thank you.
Sure. While I'm standing, I'll just talk about student handbooks a little bit for you.
Wait, do you need?
No, I'm going to shut that down. So every year we ask the board to approve student handbooks. Generally, it's a tweak here and tweak there. This year it's a little more substantial because the handbooks represent board policy. And with our changeover to Neola, we've got new policy to put into those books. So our hope is to get those into your hands prior to the beginning of this week. And then look for approval later this month. The issue with the handbooks is, August 1st, our portal opens for parents to sign off on them. One of the things they sign off on is the fact that they have read and understand what's in the handbook. So we have that on rush order. My goal, like I said, I hope is to have it in this week, if not, it'll be very early this week. But again, it's just going to be replacing the old policies with the new policies. I don't anticipate changes.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Handbooks or the math curriculum?
Thank you. Absolutely.
It brings us to here to public on agenda items. If anyone would like to speak about an item that is on tonight's agenda, you can do so now. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our consent agenda. Education Committee report. We'll have Ms. Saxon fill in for us tonight.
Sure. We have 4 agreements to consider under the education report. We have a multi-year agreement with Life Touch National School Studios for senior photos and yearbook photos. We have a 1-year contract with Ridgeville Studio Incorporated to provide photographic services for grades pre-K through grade 11. Murray Ridge is a school for students ages 6 to 22 with developmental delays. North Ridgeville has students who attend there and will continue to do so for the 2019-20 school year. This agreement is a renewal for educational services for those students. Finally, we have an annual approval of a contract with PSI to provide required nursing services to St. Peter's School. In addition to our agreements, we have before us the North Ridgeville City School District goals for 2019-2020. These goals are comprehensive of all aspects of a successful school district. Finally, we have an out-of-state field trip to consider. Brandon Muck and his team will travel to Costa Rica, Central America on a service trip with NRHS students over the summer of 2020. This concludes the education report.
Thank you. Are there any questions about the education report? I appreciate the fact that we're going through a one-year contract with Ridgeville, so it gives us an opportunity to put out a bid for proposals. And I also would like to just ask about the service trip. Do we know the ratio of chaperones to students? That was one thing I was just thinking that, and you don't have to know it tonight, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I can get that number for you.
It's 1 to 6. I have them on that page right now.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I just saw it as you were saying it. Thank you. All right, any other questions about education report? Okay, oh, go ahead.
So, can you explain what our association with St. Peter's is, why we're entering the contract?
We have funds provided by the state called auxiliary service funds, which we act as a pass-through, so they allocate a certain amount. We provide that money, they provide invoices for the services that they require, that only special ed activities, and then we reimburse them for the purchases.
I know you can explain this before, so this isn't funds being in our general fund, this is money that we just act as an agent on behalf of St. Peter's, from
Correct.
state to us, to St.
We're a
Peter's.
pass-through.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay, takes us to no policy committee report this evening, communications report. We have 4 gifts to North Ridgeville City Schools, total donations for the 2018-19 school year, $17,361.33. First, we have a monetary donation of $1,000 donated by the Lions Club of North Ridgeville to the North Ridgeville Academic Center to pay for the Lorraine County Community College sponsored field day for the 7th and 8th graders. Second, a mop horn heat press machine was donated by North Ridgeville City Schools staff members Jason Fritz, James Brandenburg, and Ashley Stiles to the North Ridgeville Academic Center Fab Lab. This donation is valued at $250. Third is Arrow Gardens that was donated by the Naval family to the North Ridgeville Ranger High Tech Academy to be used by the students. This donation was estimated at $200. And finally, 3 gallons of paint were donated by Sherwin Williams in North Ridgeville to paint the softball restroom and softball built-ins. This donation is valued at $91.23. As always, we thank our community for their tremendous support and generous donations to our schools and students. This concludes the communications report. That takes us to Human Resources report. Ms. Saxon?
Yes, there are a total of 37 actions regarding human resources. 1 certified staff appointment, 34 supplemental contracts to NREA members, 2 supplemental contracts to non-NREA members. These items are receiving a first reading tonight. This concludes the human resource report.
Brings us to our finance audit report. The Ohio Revised Code allows for the establishment of the board service fund to pay for member expenses actually incurred in the performance of their duties, which includes meetings and board development activities. This fund is limited to $2 per pupil per year. It is the intent of the board to appoint 2 members to the audit committee. At the July regular meeting, the audit committee serves as a professional link between the board and the independent auditors. The audit committee is charged with assisting the board to understand unfamiliar audit terminology and concepts and to verify that the audit recommendations are addressed in a timely and appropriate manner. Previously, this function was handled by the finance committee. Those are going to be on our agenda for July. So that's just an introduction to those 2 items in our July 16th agenda. Attached, the resolution reflects an increase in estimated resources to be received by the district in fiscal year 2020 due to a change in the accounting for receipts and expenditures related to the conversion from the North Ridgeville City Schools Health Trust to the Suburban Health Consortium. I motion to approve in 1 reading. Moved by myself, seconded by Mr. Baca. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Baca?
Yes.
And Ms. Saxon?
Yes.
Thank you. we have a levy and bond issue resolution that need consideration. Both resolutions will be on the November ballot. This is the first reading. The formal vote will take place at the July 16th regular meeting.
You went reading them?
All 27 pages.
Just kidding.
I knew you were. You gave our superintendent a heart attack, but other than that, we're good. Okay, so that takes us to page 14, under other board business. Ms. Saxon?
Yes. Under other board business, we have a few human resource items to approve, and they are 3 certified staff appointments, 1 support staff ESY bus aide, 1 certified staff resignation. I motion that we approve this on 1 reading.
Moved by Mrs. Saxon, second by Mr. Vaca. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Saxon?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes. Takes us to building and operations report. Mr. Vaca?
Start drinking today, my heart.
Anyway, buildings and operations report.
As part of the baseball field renovation project, we have a need to advertise the bid for the building of the dugouts. This would allow the construction to be completed in time for the 2020 baseball season. I motion that we approve this in 1 reading.
Second?
Moved by Mr. Vaca, second by Ms. Saxon. Is there any discussion? Just again, this is just going out to bid for the completion of the dugouts. Roll call, please.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Ms. Saxon?
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes. That brings us to hearing of public on new items. If there's anyone who'd like to speak about an item that is not on the agenda, please sign in at the podium.
I actually have one thing about the agenda, I just hadn't gotten a chance to read it, I apologize for that.
That's okay.
One, I noticed that some club advisors for supplemental contracts have already been approved and others were missing, and I was wondering if they're still to come or why some of them weren't on there.
That's a good question. I'll turn it over to Mr. Hearn.
Sure. If they're not on there today, it's because they have not formally completed it, and so that might have just been an oversight on there. So we do supplemental contracts on a rolling basis. Obviously, we want them filled with people who accept them or are willing to.
Okay. I'll ask a personal question of you later.
Okay, sure.
And then my other comment is that there was nobody upstairs to open any class. And luckily Dawn Fitz was still here, and I didn't have her phone number from my email. But otherwise I would not have been able to make it. So just a general note for when you guys have meetings, so you can have someone downstairs and figure out how to make it accessible to
Thank you, I appreciate it. Obviously, that wasn't done intentionally, so we'll make sure that it's correct that for future meetings. We appreciate you bringing that to our attention. Anything else? It's recommended the Board of Education enter executive session to discuss the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of public employees and matters related to negotiations with public employees. Moved by Ms. Saxon, second by Mr. Vaca. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Saxon?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes. Thank you, everyone. That concludes our public portion of our meeting today.